Introduction: A fire at factory in Batu Cave, Gombak, may be the source of the stench that can be smelled in Paprika, Mount Kiara and Taman Tun Dr. Ismail. Although some have speculated that the factory was a chemical plant, a spokesman from the Selangor Fire and Rescue Department clarified that the factory processed food. Furthermore, while the smell of the smoke is unpleasant, firefighters say there is nothing to worry about as it is not hazardous. A report said to the Rakyat Post that a firefighter received a call of a fire at Parliament Industrial Park at 9:47 p.m. and went on location at 10 p.m. It all 35 firefighters and 6 vehicles from Selayang Rawak, Sri Hartamas, Gombak Selatan and Gombak Fire Station were involved in the operation, which lasted till 1 a.m. The factory is said to be a Class A 1,000 square feet facility and 40% of it had burned by the time firefighters arrived. If I am an engineer at that factory, I must take action and responsibility on what happened with the case. I need to investigate more because accidents can do happen. Place and factories which may use machinery, chemical and other potentially hazardous elements are always possible sites for accident which may cause injury or even death if a comprehensive engineering safety approach is not taken. Laws and Management in Engineering Society, the Board of Engineering Malaysia (BM) fall within the ambit of responsibility of the Minister of Works. Vested with wide powers, the Minister may suspend the operation of the Registration of Engineer Act 1967 RDA in any part of Malaysia by notification in the Gazette. The appointment of the board members and the registrar is made by the Minister. The Registration of Engineer Act 1967 and the Registration of Engineer Regulation 1990 have been amended in 2015 with date of operation on 31st July 2015. The amended RDA will be known as Registration of Engineer Act 1967 Levies 2015, whilst the accompanying regulation will be known as Registration of Engineer Regulation 1990 Revised 2015. Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 Act 514. The Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 OSHA 1994 provide the legislative framework to promote, stimulate and encourage high standards of safety and health at work. The Act 514 contains a clear statement that the responsibility of the occupational safety and health at workplace are shared between the employers and the workers, since the employers are the ones who provide the working environment which gives rise to hazard at work, and the workers are the ones who have worked with this hazard. OSHA 1994 define the general duties of employers, the sale, employ, design, manufacture, importers and supply of plant or substance. The selling feature of the Act include the establishment of the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health and NCOS, the duty of formulate safety and health policy, the establishment of safety and health committee at the place of the work and the use of approved industry code of practice as evidence of compliance to safety and health provision.
Establishment of safety and health committed at place of work. Number one, every employer shall establish a safety and health committed at the place of work in accordance with his section if. Number two, the composition of a safety and health committed established under subsection 1, the election of appointment of person or to the committed, the power of the member of the committed, and any other matter relating to the establishment of procedure of the committed shall be as prescribed. Number 3. Every employer shall consult the safety and health committed with a view to the making and maintenance of arrangement which will enable him and his employer to cooperate effectively in promoting and developing measures to ensure the safety and health at the place of work of the employer and in checking the effectiveness of such measure. And lastly, a person who contravenes the provision of this section shall be guilty of the offence and shall on conviction be liable to fine not exceeding 5,000 ringgit or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or 2 both. Notification of accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease and injury. Number 1. An employer shall notify the nearest occupational safety and health office of any incident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, or occupational disease which has occurred or is likely and occur at the place of work. Number 2. Every registered medical practitioner or medical office attending to or called into the visit the patient whom he believed to be suffering from any the disease listed in the third schedule of the Factories and Machinery Act 1967 or any disease name in any regulating or under met by the minister under this act or occupational poisoning shall report the matter to the Director General. Engineer in fulfillment of their professional duty shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare to the public, perform service only in area of their competence, issue public statements only in an objective and truthful manner, act for each employer or client as faithful agents and trustees, avoid deceptive acts, conduct themselves honorably, responsibly, ethically, and lawfully, so as the attain to honor, reputation, and usefulness of the profession. Okay, next. Rule of practice. Engineer shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. Number 2. Engineer shall perform service only in area of their competences. Number 3. Engineer shall issue public statements only in an objective and truthful manner. Number 4. Engineer shall act for each employer or client as faithful agent or trustees. And next, number 3, lastly, professional obligation. Engineers shall be guided in all their relation by the highest standard of honesty and integrity. Number 2, Engineers shall at all times strive to serve the public interest. And number 3, engineering shall avoid all conducts of practice that deceive the public. Professional bodies in engineering. A professional engineer shall approve and sign only those engineering documents that he has prepared or are prepared under his direct supervisor. Number 2, a professional engineer shall certify and satisfactory completion of this piece of work only if he has control over the supervision of the construction or installation of that work, and only if he has certified that the construction or installation has fulfilled the requirement of the engineering design and specification. Number 3, a registered engineer having knowledge of any violation of this code and local authorities regulation shall report the one to approved professional bodies and when relevant also to the public authorities, and cooperate with the proper authorities in furnishing such information or assistance as may be required. And lastly, a registered engineer shall not reveal fact, data, or information without the fully concerned regulation of the client and employer aspect as authorized or requested by law of when withholding of such information in contrary to the public. Identify the code of professional conduct for related engineering field in Malaysia, BM. Number 1, a registered professional engineering with practicing certificate shall not falsify his qualification or permit representation of his exercise qualification. He shall not make present and acknowledge its responsibility in all for the subject matter of previous assessment. He shall not make present pertinent facts concerning employer exhausted joint venture or past accomplishment. Number 2, a registered professional engineering with practicing certificate shall respond within reasonable time to communication from the board or any other relevant authority and matter pertaining to his professional service. Number 3, a registered professional engineer with practicing certificate shall respond within reasonable time to communication from the board or any other relevant authorities on matter pertaining to his professional service. And lastly, a registered professional engineer with practicing certificate shall undertake an assignment only if he is qualified by education and experience in the specific technician field of assignment in which he is to be involved.
Now, I will continue the presentation of my group. Discover invention towards sustainability and green technology related to the case. First, make a work plan. Then, reduce the use of flammable materials. Next, store flammable materials in safe place that has been reserved. Ensure the gas supply tube is always in condition good. Ensure all electrical equipment switches are turned off if not used. Obtain permission from a university to make electrical wire connection. Then, in the event of electrical damage, should be immediate notified to the university. Then the last one is do not throw away cigarette butts that are still in the trash. Continue for the next part. needs for sustainable and green engineering towards providing the solutions in related case. The first one is the workshop is a restricted area and unauthorized persons are not allowed to come in. Wear workshop clothes, coveralls and shoes safety perfectly while in the workshop. Then wear glasses appropriate security to prevent splashes, fragments or glare. If you wear glasses, use goggles for extra protection. Then the fourth one is eating, drinking, smoking and dressing up are prohibited in the workshop. Use appropriate gloves during doing work. Use ear or hearing protection in areas or high noise levels. Public safety at work 16. Wear a safety apron while performing welding work. Identify the location of the first aid kit. Make sure barriers and safety devices works before using the machine. Make sure you know how to stop the engine in an emergency. And the last one is do not allow the machine to operate unattended. Okay, then the issue or engineering problem for sustainability methods and implementation. The first one is incorrect electrical wiring installation. Second, faulty use wiring replacement. Third, electric shortcut. The fourth, the use of the machine is too long to cause extreme heat. The fifth one is electric sparks. And the sixth, fire sources such as matches, lighters, cigarettes, butts, mosquito repellent and wets. And 7, uncontrolled burning such as burning garbage, stove, fire and embers. Then sparks due to friction. Next, chemical reaction and lightning. Then the last one is intentional burning of insurance claims, revenge, treachery or other. Then the last part is for conclusion. For conclusion, there are some elements of engineer professional social responsibilities that are widely agreed upon. This includes protection of human health and safety and protection of the environment. Other engineering social responsibility have less consensus across countries and disciplines, include the mandate to participate in pro bono work, strive for social justice and embrace diversity. Corporations focus on engineering activities and for which engineer work typically have corporate social responsibility statement which document their commitments and contribution to sustainability in the form of their working condition, the local community and environment impact. Finally, studies are documenting how engineers develop their sense of professional social response, including their upbringing, college experience in and out of the classroom and socialization in the engineering workforce. Some troubling findings are there are individual commitment to socially responsible engineering may actually decline over time. Perhaps they begin to separate their technical expertise from social commitments or feeding business interests outweigh broader social responsibilities. That's all from our group. Thank you.